Good afternoon. Here. Guest on Shining the Light on our community. Today we have our beautiful Krystal with us, Krystal Hille, who's coming to chat to us, Krystal, about inspired connections. Really, 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 and how, writing can help us connect with ourselves and our, in the world and the clients and everything else. And I love what you do. I know you're a publisher of numerous books and all books where people get to have an opportunity to share their passion. So, like I said, welcome, really. I love having a conversation with you. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and inspired connections. What's
Thank
that
you.
about?
Yes, thank you so much for having me again, Sophia. It's always a pleasure to be with you and in your community and yeah, sharing about inspired connections. So firstly, yes, I am the founder of Hill House Publishing and I'm a soul leadership mentor as well. I've got about 13, 14 years of transformational life coaching experience and I specialized in really helping women to step into their divine feminine essence. My passion from a very young age has always been to empower people, and the mission of Hill House Publishing now is to awaken and empower humanity into deeper sovereignty and connection. And so, this inspired connection book is subtitled Unleashing the Magic of Deeper Relationships. And the reason why I chose this title is because I've observed both within my own life and within the lives of so many people that we are currently in this current climate being asked to step into alignment and into authentic relationships with ourselves and others. And it's not something we've been taught. We coming in as babies into probably, I wouldn't say dysfunctional relationships with, we're witnessing dysfunctional relationships of our parents, although I certainly have. Our parents are doing their best to be there for us, to be in a loving relationship, but really they've had so much conditioning and so much trauma that it's just compounded. And we're coming into a space collectively right now that this has, it's come, okay, it's the road ends here. It has to stop. And we're being asked collectively as the vibration of the planet is rising with the Schumann frequencies and everything to come into alignment. But how do we do that? So this book is bringing together experts who have walked through, who've had dysfunctional relationships in any area of their life, be that in their own parenting, and they've come out and come into the other side and are now teaching, how can we be good parents? How can we be authentic? How can we create win-wins? How can we really love and connect with one another beautifully? Also, of course, relationships, romantic relationships, but also money. We have, on the whole, we have a dysfunctional relationship to our money. We've been taught to live in scarcity, to live in fear. And whilst this is not our natural state, it's become normal. And so how do we change that? So the book is bringing people together to share tools and their stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love exactly what you're saying and totally agree with you. Like I can connect, inspired connect, but connect with everything that you're saying because, we live in a world now, the age of technology, that in one way technology has brought the world closer. We can connect with people all over the world. Totally, absolutely. But it's also taken us away from ourselves, taken us away from our relationships, taken us away, even having that relationship with money, because everything is now online. We no longer go out and actually with money. I know, when we, before COVID, you'd go out and you'd share. I know things were slowly changing with cards, but you would connect with the energy of money a lot more, and connecting with each other. Go and have coffees. It's coming back now, which is great.
Oh, you just muted yourself.
Sorry, I just, yeah. But we've lost that connection to ourselves and to our higher purpose and to each other. So,
Yeah, and I often feel like we haven't ever been taught how to keep it there. Like children know it, they're innately there, and then
yes,
we condition them that you have to please, you have to do your homework, you have to behave in a certain way, you have to please, Uncle so and so, or whatever it might be. Um, Yeah, so rarely it's like, okay, I don't want to go there today. Okay, then don't. No, we're convincing children to do that and to override their own innate inner knowing to fit in. And so it's such an how do we unlearn that as adults? And of course we all have to kind of fit in somehow, but not at the expense of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I love what you're doing. So you're with the Inspired Connections, you're looking for people who wish to contribute, to become authors as part of it.
Absolutely. That's yeah, I'm looking for relationship experts, parenting coaches, money mentors, anybody in the health and wellness industry who teaches us how to look better after create a better relationship with our bodies, creating a better relationship with spirit. And the thing that you mentioned earlier about this, how can writing help us connect with ourselves and help us connect to our clients and yeah, ourselves and our clients. And what I found in over the last 20 months that I've been doing these compilation books is that when we look at our lives as the writer through the lens of a particular theme, in this case inspired connections, and we follow that thread from early days into where we are now, and really looking at the transformations that have happened and the growth that has come about, there's contributors make realizations that they hadn't ever made before. There's puzzle pieces that are suddenly coming together and clicking into place, that giving them a greater awareness of why they do what they do now. And I think with my background as wanting to help people becoming more of who they are, and therefore then being able to show up more powerfully in the world because they know their message better, that excites me. That excites me a lot. How writing really can help us, is a reflective tool to help us connect more deeply with ourselves. And when we connect more deeply with ourselves, we can show up in a whole new way with each other and with our potential clients. And therefore, it's like you're shining a light. That's your theme. Our light can shine brighter. So therefore, people can find us more when we know who we are authentically, and we have learned to connect to ourselves really deeply.
Yeah, and I thoroughly agree with you and exactly what you're talking about. Like I can feel it, feel the energy of that. And I just want to honour you for offering this opportunity to people, because I know the power of writing, and how when you're writing your story and you're really connecting to your journey. So I love the idea with your book and everything. Now, do you help people? If someone says, "Look, I've got a story, but I don't know how to write it," and stuff like that. I'm sure you get a lot of people who go, "But I'm not a writer."
Yeah, this comes up a lot. I have so much to share, I have so much to give, but I'm not a writer. And absolutely, we help with that. Like I make everybody look good. I really, when you come into the container, I look after you and I make sure that you present yourself well. So firstly, I give some guidelines on and some writing tips, and even, to the point of recording it, but also then how do we structure it? What do we look out for? So there's a lot of support on that. And you also have in that writing process, we have weekly writing labs where everybody can come in and kind of share about their journey, share their breakthroughs, where they might be stuck, what questions are coming up. And then there's a developmental process, like a developmental editing. So usually the tip I give, and I'll share it here as well, is the first draft is never the draft anybody sees but you, most of the time, unless you're a really experienced writer. The first draft is just a brain dump of you just getting it all out of your system, kind of starting to, to warm up, so to speak. And then I come in once you send it in to me, and I look at, okay, so are you presenting yourself in the best light that you can? Because I have the ability to see people. Everybody comes in and I have a chat to them. What is your intention with this chapter? What are you looking to get out of it? Why are you choosing it? What do you have to say about this? And then I look, are they staying too much in their story, or are they going too much into their teacher voice? How do we blend them, and really just helping them to get everything that onto the page that they might have shared with me, on a Zoom call. It's about, okay, did that actually translate into the chapter? And if it didn't, I'll point it out with love and share with them some ideas of where they can dig a little bit deeper or trim it or do whatever. So there's definitely that support, so that the chapters that make it into the book are a really powerful representation of the essence and the expertise of each contributor.
Which is wonderful, and I'm certainly looking forward to reading it and putting the word out there that if anyone who is watching us either live or replay would like to be part of Inspired Connections, then do click on the links that we will put in the comments very, very soon. But Krystal, I do have another question because I'm really interested in your background. You have inspired creators.
Oh yes, I do.
Tell us about that. So is that your most recent book, and is it published yet?
No, this book is coming out November 11th.
Oh, good, nice.
So it's called Inspired Creators, and it's it's about embracing the magic of your soul mission. So we've really focused in on how do we discover it, how do we find it, how do we embody it. And we have Laurie Ladd in this book as well, who is, most people, I believe, in your community would know her as a spiritual leader specializing on the evolution of human consciousness. And she literally has helped millions of people throughout the pandemic in their awakening. And so she's sharing how she found her mission at the age of 14, how she's rejected it for quite some time, but then how she embraced it. So she's sharing that journey in this book.
That's good. Well, I look forward to that. And will that be available on your website?
It'll be available on my website, and I can give you the link as well where people can purchase it on launch day. And also, we've got like you can sign up to our mailing list to get on the waiting list. Mm-hmm. So you'll be notified on when the book comes out, and we'll share in the process leading up to it. We'll share and feature all the different authors in an email that goes out. Yeah.
And with Inspired Connections, when are you hoping to have all that happening and being launched?
Yeah, so my intention is to have the book, everybody enrolled by the 15th of November, and then the writing deadline will be the 15th of December. But if people want longer, because I know, leading up to Christmas, once we get into December, it gets crazy. So jump in now. So you have plenty of time. Everything is there for you to get started writing the moment you sign up. And we will be launching probably around mid-March next year. Okay. So it's also about thinking ahead, what's happening mid-March, what programs am I launching that I would love to bring awareness on through a book and through becoming a published author.
Absolutely. Well, thank you ever so much. And I said, I'm really looking forward to it coming out and to reading Inspired Creators as well. Connecting with that, and all your books that you bring out, it's all inspired, but it is such an inspiration.
Yeah, here's more inspired books.
Yes.
That's an intuitive living one. This is
Yep, we can see that one, and inspired living. Yeah, wonderful.
So we've got very high vibrational books, very high vibrational covers, amazing people who are coming into these books, which also gives the opportunity for some incredible collaborations. 2 people from the last book have created a business together.
Wow.
And in a previous book, 2 people have done a high profile, a really high-end ticket retreat in Costa Rica together. So because we're all like-minded when we're coming into a book like this, there are some powerful connections that can be created as well.
Yep, you never know who you're going to connect with, and what a wonderful, opportunity to be part of Inspired Connections. And for everyone who is listening and watching either the live or the replay, we do have some people watching. I'm here talking to our beautiful Krystal Hille, who's the publisher of all the Inspired series, and it's got Inspired Creators coming out in November the 11th. What a wonderful date. And now looking for Inspired Connections. Yes. For anyone who wants to be part of Inspired Connections. So do click on the links as soon as they come in the comments for more. Thank you ever so much for coming on. I love your energy, and I look forward to the next one as well. Yes. After Inspired Connections, and we can have more conversations.
Yes, I have a whole Beyond trilogy planned for 2023.
Wow, good.
That is beyond chaos, beyond conditioning, and beyond something else, beyond the known. I was going to say I was looking at the hero's journey. So it's based on the hero's journeys, like leaving the known. How do we deal with uncertainty? How do we deal with, once we're in this, when we're going on the hero's journey and the chaos, we're in the turmoil, we're fighting our demons. How do we deal with that? How can we go beyond chaos into inner peace? And then how can we come home to ourselves beyond coding or beyond conditioning?
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to them too. Love having the conversations around
Thank you
that.
so much for having me again. It's always such a pleasure.
Thank you, and you have a beautiful day. And for everyone who is watching, do click on the links as soon as they go into the comments. And even if it's just looking out for inspired creators or being part of, being a published author in Inspired Connections, because as we were talking, Krystal, before, like connections to me is what it's all about.
Yes.
We are seeking those deep connections now. It's time to reconnect with all that is and all that we're meant to be. So thank you for bringing that to us.
Thank you so much.